What I want to show you in this video is our pattern marketing model, which we call semantic branding. Semantic branding is made up of three core pillars: conversion, content, links, and branding. Simply put, semantic branding is your business's individual branding content structured in a way the search engine algorithm can understand and get you ranked. Now, that might not make a lot of sense right now, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you in a picture form how exactly our CLB, semantic branding method, works. So our three core pillars is content, links, and branding. And I'm going to break them down for you so you can get a full understanding of how the three of them put together equals semantic branding and get you more high valued traffic to your website that's going to equate to more conversions, sales, and revenue. So let's break it down. So content conversion. So what is that? Why do we call it content conversion? Like we said before in the video above, about 80% of searches all start on Google. And of those searches, they all start with a keyword. So keyword. Now, from that keyword, it's going to lead to a landing page. And the landing page you're going to click on are the top three on Google. So obviously we want that to be your individual landing page. And what from there, how do we structure your website in a way that we can make sure that you are one of those top three? So as you saw before, the way that we structured the keywords and the phrases around it, what we do is each individual phrase gets its own landing page. So what I'm going to show you here is how an example makeup of how that would work. So these are landing pages, and we structure each keyword around these pages. What happens is through this process is Google gets a really good idea of what your website is and what it's about, and you build authority around that subject. Now, the way if you imagine these as links in between pages. So if you're reading any individual page, sometimes you'll see like a hyperlink. And that is what we call a link. So a link can be internal or external. Internal meaning that it goes to another page on your website, or external meaning it goes to a completely different website. Now, it's really important to understand external and internal links because it's a very big indicator to Google, and that's exactly how they crawl around the website. So Google basically have robots that we call them crawl bots. So imagine like little spiders that crawl around the website. And how do they do that? Through these internal linking structures. So we can tell Google what your website is about by linking internally and externally as well. And that's how other websites tell Google what their website is about as well. And it's a really, really important concept to understand. And anyone that does SEO and does it well understands this and can explain this concept very well. But unfortunately, it's actually not the only indicators that matter anymore. So through the advancement of AI, branding is more important than ever. But before I talk about branding, what I'm going to do is explain how linking works externally. So if you imagine these as other websites on the internet, they are websites that are also in the same domain as you and actually have authority on the same subject that you're trying to get ranked for. And what we do on behalf of you is reach out to these websites and organize links. So there's hyperlinks I was talking about before to come back to your website. What happens there is these Google bots might land on your website and they might link and they might find their way to these websites, or they might land on this website and then find their way to your website. And through that process, they identify you as an authority figure in your individual niche and individual keyword. And what happens through that process is they say, okay, cool. These guys are authority figure in this niche. We're going to rank them higher in the charts and essentially give you more traffic. So this is a pretty basic breakdown of how SEO works. And it used to be the holy grail of SEO. But now through the advancement of AI, branding has become more important than ever. So what I want to do is break down how branding plays into this SEO strategy and how semantic branding is such a vital part of SEO in this day and age, and why we really need to understand why branding is so important when it comes to getting you ranked for your website. So if we imagine this as your website online, and this is the sphere of search. So sphere of search being, this could be someone could find you on Facebook, someone could find you on Instagram, someone could find you on LinkedIn. right? So, like I said before, 80% of traffic actually comes from Google. But here's the thing, but even if they find you on Google first, they're still going to look at your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your Instagram to see if you're a legitimate brand. Now, Google understands that, and they actually have the AI to a point now where they not only look at these indicators to see if they want to rank you or not, they also look off page to see if you're actually a legitimate brand. So things like posting on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram are more important than ever, because just like a human, they want to see if you're real. Because unfortunately, through the years of SEOs working on websites, pretty much everyone's hacked the system, and everyone knows this process now. So how do you beat? How does Google overcome that? Well, they've got to rank legitimate brands, and that's why big brands will always win this battle, because they've already spent the money back in the day when radio and TV was so cheap, and people know those brands, so they're actually legitimately a brand that people search for, and Google knows that. So how do we compete against that? You literally have to be branding. So all this stuff's really important: internal linking, external linking, how you structure the content. But just as important, equally important at the same time, is how you structure your social media. And it has to be aligned with the content that we're trying to rank for. So obviously a lot of moving parts going here, very, very sophisticated process, but it's something we have mastered in original media. So what I want to show you now is a case study, Mitchell Plumbing, of a great example of how branding really pays off, and how if you do it in a very specific way, in a structured way that the algorithm understands, you can get incredible results. So I'm not going to show you the keywords that he's ranking for, because obviously we don't want to give away the full strategy. But what I will show you is the huge amount of traffic that he's got, and the results behind it. So first things first, I want to show you is the actual website itself. So we built this website for him. As you can see, it's just very well branded. It looks like a legitimate website. It's got referrals. It's got moving parts. Like, there's no way in hell you look at this and you can't see that this guy is a legitimate brand. So the next thing we've done from there, actually, before I jump into the how we structure the socials, what I want to show you is when he started with us with Semantic Branding was around August 15th. So you can see before that, it's getting around 10 to 15 people a day to his website, maximum 20, which is around 300 to 400 people a month, which is pretty good for any given business in any industry. But once he started the semantic branding journey with us, you can see the drastic growth that he had, to the point now where he's getting anywhere from 100 to 80 people a day to his website. So huge, huge growth in traffic, and it's made a huge difference to his business. And this definitely would not have been possible just following these two steps here, and linking and link, where the branding came into play, which equals semantic branding, is where we started seeing that huge growth. So how did we do that? Actually, before I show you that, another chart to see here is Ahrefs. We can see here, we started around August 15th, and you can see huge jump up straight away. We started seeing some massive growth in the traffic to his website. So how did we do that? Well, basically what we did is we picked the keywords we wanted to go for, and then we very specifically started using his socials to write content around those keywords that are in line with the blog post and the external links that we were getting from other websites. So all those three steps done together, orchestrated very carefully on a month-by-month basis, we were able to get huge amount of growth to his website, and basically 10x his website in the space of about 8 months using our semantic branding process. So as you can see here, like, we're posting pretty much daily. Some of his posts are getting around 1,000 impressions every day, and this is all organic. There's no paid structure behind this. Again, with his Facebook, we did the same thing, and you can see again. So now, obviously, the byproduct of this is there's things like LinkedIn. He's got 301 followers, and we can see that he's getting more commercial deals out of this because it just looks more professional. So that's a byproduct of it. It's just being professional and looking professional. People actually see you, and they actually find you, and they actually follow you. And the big takeaway with Mitch is that he's starting to get a lot of commercial deals where he doesn't even have to, where he used to have to sort of orchestrate a relationship before with them, where now they're just calling him and booking him straight in because they've been following him on Instagram and LinkedIn, and Twitter, and they already formed a relationship before they even got on the phone with him. So that's just a byproduct of actually doing semantic branding and doing your SEO right. So yeah, you can see here on every other platform, YouTube and Twitter, we're posting on a daily basis. And basically what we're doing here is we're building brand. So SEO is no longer just about links and backlinks and the way you structure your content. You really have to bring in that branding, because again, 80% of people are going to find you on Google, but if you don't have the branding behind it, you no longer look legitimate. And what's going to happen is you're going to get, you're not going to look legitimate in Google's eyes, you're not going to look legitimate in the prospect eyes, and your rankings is just going to go down, down, down. And the people that do SEO right, and they not only do these two parts of the equation, but they bring branding in, they're the ones that are going to dominate. And we only have a short amount of time while this algorithm's updating. And the AI is really starting to come into play, where the people that jump on top of this and take advantage of this, you're going to be able to get miles and miles ahead of your competition. Whereas the people that just rely on this side of the equation, they're going to get left behind. So hopefully that all made sense. Yeah, as you can see, the performance speaks for themselves. Semantic branding is the new way forward. And if you're not doing it correctly, you're just going to get left behind.